today we're doing a June book haul. I've bought so many books this month that I just thought I would do a quick roundup. This is for a few different reasons. One, I've been buying books as a form of retail therapy, and two, my aunt came to visit and my aunt's a big reader too, so she encouraged me a little bit on days where we were going out together to buy more books, despite the many books I've got behind me, and she saw when she was sleeping here that I needed no more books, but here we are. So first up we have Black Cat, Discord and Free Swords, both part of the Marvel Aconite novel series. Both of these are written by different authors. Black Cat is by Kath Thoria and Free Swords is by C.L. Werner. Free Swords is part of the Legends of Asgard series books, and I've read one of them and I own another one of them already, so I'm really interested to see where this one goes. And Black Cat is obviously from the Spider-Man universe, but it's part of the Heroine series. I've not read any of the Heroine series yet, but I do have a few on my shelf already, so I'm really excited to see what they do with Black Cat. Next up I bought Applebow and Caldecott Place, both by Noel Streatfeild. I bought these because I have a collection of Noel Streatfeild books already, but I'd never read these, and these new editions came into print not that long ago, I don't think, because I think a few years ago I was trying to find them and they were all out of print. So I'm really excited that I finally have them, and also they're really pretty editions of them as well. Then we have Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin. I have never read any of her books, even though I've heard so many good things, so I decided to get the entire first 4 books in one book instead of buying them separately. It actually isn't that much, it's just quite small writing. I'm hoping to read them soon. Thinking about it, I don't actually know anything about what Earthsea is about, but because I've heard so many good things and I've heard that you definitely should read her if you like fantasy, I'm going to go into it probably a little bit like no information, nothing, so that I can go and just judge it based on what I'm reading. Next up I got another series of books, and this is Scottish, Irish and Welsh fairy tales, all by different authors, and they just rewrite some of the less known, I'd say, versions of fairy tales in each of these countries. I did start reading, I think it was the Welsh one, where it basically started retelling their version of Cinderella, which I thought was really interesting, and I'm really excited to read the rest of them and see what differences there are in each of the countries. And then I got Blood of Heirs by Alicia Lonsdale-Burke. I actually started reading this as part of an SBF reading thing the other year, and I started reading it on Kindle Unlimited, and then when I went back to it I realised I didn't have enough Kindle Unlimited slots, so I bought it instead. It's a self-published book, so I thought I'd give it some support, and I'm really excited to finally finish it. And then I also got Sketch Every Day. So I actually borrowed this book from Moon probably like a year ago now, before I moved into this place, and I still have her copy over there, but I thought I'd buy my own and give her a copy back so that she can have it, because I just really enjoyed the little bits throughout this book, but I've never read through the whole thing yet, but I really want to. Then one of my bigger purchases was I bought all these Sandman Books, novels, volumes, whatever they're called. I'm going to put them down because they're quite heavy, but I'll just show this one at the front. So there's 11 separate volumes plus 2 extra volumes on top of that. I believe I may have missed 1 or 2, and I'm going to read them all before the adaptation comes out later this year, or is it next year? I'm not even sure on timings anymore, but that's why I wanted to pick them up, because I really like Neil Gaiman's books anyway, but I've never read The Sandman. And then next we have 3 books that I bought purely to read in the park, because I was in London and I had like 2 or 3 hours spare, so I went to Waterstones and walked around for like hours. First one is Elves Once Walked with Gods by James Barclay. I didn't really know about this book before, but when I was reading like the blurb and I read like the first few pages, I was really interested in what was going to happen, so that's why I picked that one up. The second one I got was The Last Legacy by Adrienne Young. I really love her other books. I've read quite a few of her other books, especially Fable. Is it Fable? I can't remember if it is actually called Fable, but the second book is Namesake. Oh, it's on the back. It is Fable and it is Namesake. I read both of them and I really love them. I don't know what The Last Legacy is about, So quickly reading the blurb, it's basically very similar to some of her other books where there's like a long lost family and there's people going to join them, and then there's some big secret and things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this because I really love her work, and I didn't realise, I don't know if this is an older book or if it's a newer book, but I didn't realise this was a book that she had. And then veering away from fantasy a little bit, I also picked up Careering by Daisy Buchanan. As you can tell from the front cover, this is how I feel a lot of the time. I just want to go headfirst into my sofa. And it's about toxic relationships with work, and there's two perspectives. I've started reading it already in the park. There's two perspectives. One of them is like the employee and the other one is the boss. They've both got a lot of pressure on them from work world, other people at work. And yeah, it's a really interesting read. It's very much like they're working in like a magazine that's gone digital, so it's very much like a little bit like Sex and the City, where like there's this writer magazine thing. It reminds me of like Sex and the City, Ugly Betty, things like that, but it's very different. It's very focused on, you know, things aren't as glamorous as you think, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And then last but not least, I bought 2 books at the V&A Museum because I went with my aunt. It was really well timed actually. There was a Beatrix Potter exhibition. You had to pay to get into that exhibition, the rest of the museum's free, but we love Beatrix Potter. She's been buying me like the little ornament things since I was a child, so we went in and I also bought these books. So Beatrix Potter, Drawn to Nature, is kind of an overview of her life. It follows, similar to the exhibition, like going through from a young age to when she started becoming an author and where she was later in life when she like bought a farm, and it just has lots of tidbits all about what she was like and what she was doing throughout her time, and all of the links back to nature and the countryside and where she grew up and where she went on holiday. It's just really interesting to read. And the second book I got was The Art of Beatrix Potter. So this is all about the artwork for not just her books but other things throughout her life. And similar again to the exhibition, it goes through from like a very young age to a lot older and into her farm time as well. So yeah, that's all of the books that I've bought this month. It's quite a lot, maybe a little bit too many books, especially with how many I still need to read. But I've already started reading quite a few of them and I've been enjoying them, so I'm not feeling too guilty about it. And yeah, I will probably catch up again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.